the first thing that really, something that kind of made me feel old, but also kind of made it like my heroes, my idols, almost like, or do they just mean nothing to other people? Hey guys, in this video, we're going to do a small segment with the conversation me and Savo had. This kind of just came up when we were talking about Stallone's physiques from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Make sure to check out that series of videos. But the topic came up because he's 25 and I'm 40. And another guy in the community pointed out recently that Van Damme's The Quest movie just had its 25th anniversary. It came out on April 26, 1996. And he remembers watching it in the movie theater during opening weekend. And I remember watching it in the theater too. Now, it felt like a while ago, but it didn't feel like 25 years. So it's just crazy how fast time flies, which is kind of funny with this channel. We'll start talking about stuff from the 80s and 90s, which a lot of you still fondly remember, but man, that was a long time ago. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy this segment. We're also celebrating a milestone on the channel, 30,000 subs. Thank you guys all for subscribing. I appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. We got to go higher. Almost a third of the way. The goal is 100,000. Want to get that plaque to put on the bookcase, and we'll feel like a real channel when we got 100,000 plus subs. Not that we don't feel like a real channel now, but YouTube will think we're a real channel because we'll have that plaque. Also, make sure to stay until the end because I'm going to do a segment of the good, the bad, and the ugly, going through those comments. I'm going to call this, we have a special guest for the ugly comment. All I can say to preface this is try to be nice to one another in those comment section, guys, but it's kind of an epic one. You know what's funny, and this is just a comment on like how fast time goes. I've literally been working out consistently, let's see, longer than you've been alive. Isn't that ridiculous? Because I started at 14, I'm 40. So literally 26 years consistently. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. It doesn't feel like that. Like, I could remember, hell, I could remember when I was 14, 15, 16. I could remember those workouts, dude, in high school. I can remember college. I can remember my 20s. I can remember 30. It's really scary how fast time goes. Like, it just to realize I'm talking to a dude who I've literally been working out longer than you've been alive, and you're like an adult, and you watch Sly and do all that. It's like, dude, I don't even really feel older than you, but shit, I've been working out longer than you've been around. It's nuts, dude. Time just is ridiculously fast.
Yeah, it is. I always used to hate when people made that statement. It's, oh, look how young you are. I've been alive. I've been working out as long as you've been alive, until I got to feel what that feels like. I remember a little kid telling me, I was like, I forget. I was maybe a girl.
I'm not proud of it, man. I'd rather
no, but
I wish I was 27 or 25,
but you know what? I finally got to see what that felt like because I was dating a girl and I was watching her little brother or something. I was taking him somewhere with me, and I go, kid, when were you born? He goes, 2010, and I'm like, 2010. 2010, I'm in school. 2010, The Expendables is out. 2010, it just seemed like nobody should be born in 2010.
Yeah,
and I finally came to the understanding of what it feels like getting older and looking back at the past. Basically, anything that happened in your lifetime was yesterday. I get that now. Anything that happened in my lifetime, even though I'm young, was just yesterday. Even though it's like you look at the math and it's like, no, that was 16 years ago.
Scary, man. It's scary. But just with this channel that I do, make the 80s and 90s great again and talking about this stuff, the first thing that really, something that kind of made me feel old, but also kind of made it like my heroes, my idols, almost like, or do they just mean nothing to other people? And this was a while ago. This was like when I was 27. I was dating a 19-year-old. So there's a little age gap. That's nothing crazy. 19, 27, it's nothing crazy. But I remember the first time I felt old is like when I found out she never heard of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, this dude was like the world to me, man. I modeled my life after this guy. And I'm just like, I thought you kind of have that perception where you
Van
think
Damme
everybody thinks that, right? And it's just like, to her, he doesn't even exist. It just like blew my mind. It's like, I'm old too. It's just like my world view was kind of like just torn apart. I'm like, how could somebody not respect this man?
Right. Well, but Van Damme, I actually do see as being a little bit more cult in terms of if you're a bodybuilder, if you're a martial artist, that's the god. But I think guys like Sly and Arnold and Bruce Willis, these guys are a little bit more universal in terms of.
I mean, it's funny that you bring Bruce Willis in there. I mean, I
Okay,
guess
even
he's
though, yeah, no,
famously
he
is
has a
not
shit
a
physique, but I mean,
yeah, he's not a guy I would ever really cover. I mean, I'll cover Die Hard or something, but he's not like the guy that you look at and you're like, I want to be Bruce Willis. Like nobody wants to be fucking Bruce Willis, man. Yeah, Bruce Willis doesn't want to be Bruce Willis.
no, but you know the point I'm making, that Sly's definitely stood the test of time, whereas Van Damme I find to be a little bit more cult in terms of you're a bodybuilder, you're a martial artist, so he's the god to that community. But as far as universally,
Hmm.
Sly, he's known for his physique, but he's not nothing without his physique. He'd be nothing without his writing. He'd be nothing without his characters.
Yeah, Rocky and Rambo trends. I mean, everybody knows if they even if they don't really know Stallone, they know Rocky and Rambo, right?
Yeah.
Like, and some people I think like Rocky's real or like a real boxer. Probably some young people or people from another country. Maybe it's like no, this dude was like a movie boxer. You
Yeah,
know?
In Philadelphia, they call him Rocky.
Yeah. Sony is like the most famous boxer, but he's not even a professional boxer. You know?
Right.
Oh, what are you talking about? I've had 10 title defenses.
All right, guys, time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll start off positive like we always do with the good. This came from my video I did, Top 90s Martial Arts Movie Stars Who Weren't Steven Skull or Jean-Claude Van Damme. This was on the Phillip Rhee video. Scott Hull said, Phillip Rhee is a bad mother. Rhee is one of few martial artist actors that could literally cripple a man. I agree with him. Phillip Rhee is a very legit martial artist, crazy skills, and I'm glad he's getting some attention and respect and some love in the comments section. So I'm glad Scott caught this video. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, if you want to check it out, I'll link it in the description below. It's a nice little piece on Phillip Rhee there. All right, so the bad comment came from my Sylvester Stallone 1980s Natty to Not timeline, breaking down Rocky 1 through Rambo 3. This is the video I did with Savo. And the guy, Chris Hamrick, very disrespectful, by the way, says, God, you guys are dumb. Franco sabotaged Stallone because Franco and Schwarzenegger are best friends. So I replied to him, I said, I'd say you're the one who's dumb. Why would Franco ruin his reputation just because he's friends with Arnold? The conspiracy theorist in me thought about the sabotage thing, but logic told me it's too stupid to go with. So on top of that, I mean, think about it. Franco has a moral obligation to do a job he was paid for. But apparently me and Savo are the ones that are dumb. So anyway, he replied, Chris Hamrick that is, okay, fake Samurai Frank Dukes wannabe. Okay, so I've talked about my background a little on the channel when it comes to my fitness and my training and my martial arts, where I've studied various forms for a long time. Okay, I never claimed to have won the Kumite or beat 100 guys in 3 days. Like, I don't get where this Frank Dukes comparison's coming from, for one. And then he said, why don't you interview somebody real, like a real martial artist like Don the Dragon Wilson, who actually competed, then made films? I would actually love to interview Don the Dragon Wilson someday. And then this guy continues, not fake-ass Van Damme that says he has a karate record and has never been champion nowhere. Well, I think I think that is a legit record, just for the record. And then he mentions, like, Chuck Norris is for real. He's a legitimate champion. Dennis Alexio, illegitimate champion. Which, Dennis Alexio is pretty badass. He played Van Damme's brother in the movie Kickboxer, by the way. I'd say he's pretty legit. I think his nickname was the Terminator. And then this Chris Hamrick, who knows nothing about, like, punctuation, commas, periods, nothing. It's just like a long, I don't know if you even call it a sentence because he didn't even end it with a period. But anyway, he says, Franco is Arnold's friend. He knows all about the body. He knows what yogurt would have done. You're a moron. Okay. So I replied to him, I said, and again, I'm not the type to be disrespectful, but I feel if you're not going to respect me, shots fired. I'm not going to respect you in return at that point. So, I said, you're a disrespectful moron. Why don't you learn some manners? The fact that you think something like yogurt affects everybody the same proves my point. Even in the video, I've mentioned how my body has no problem processing yogurt, while Savo says differently. Now, obviously different foods affect different people differently, but apparently I'm a moron, right? No, Chris Hamrick, I'm pretty sure you're the moron there. All right, so that was the bad comment. Now the ugly one. This gets pretty ugly. This isn't with me, though. This is with a guest I had on the show. Mr. Mario Rose. And this is from the video titled, "Is Steven Seagal a Martial Arts Fraud?" If you've been watching this channel, you know I always try to be respectful to Steven. Obviously, I don't think he's a fraud. But we got Mario Rose, who actually went to a Seagal seminar back in the 90s, got to meet him, train with him a little bit, and then has an Aikido background, in addition to other martial arts. So I see a lot of the comments calling Mario delusional or doesn't think he's a legit martial artist. I mean, for the record, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I think he's a legitimate martial artist. But, you know, it's kind of funny because it's a Steven Seagal video and we're talking about Seagal, just how many parallels there are. So obviously people fat shame Steven Seagal. People are fat shaming Mario. People don't think Steven Seagal's skills are legitimate. People don't think Mario's legitimate. I will say this. Steven Seagal is a polarizing figure, and going by the comments, so is Mario Rose. Like, you guys either love him or hate him. I don't think there's an in-between there. You feel strongly about him. Same with Steven Seagal. But here's the thing. If anything, I'd say both the guys are pretty entertaining, if anything. So anyway, the ugly comment, the guy, Robbie Rempley, said, "That Mario Rose has studied so much. Judging by his looks, it looks like he studied a lot of fried chicken. He must have found his Tatra and studied at Kramer's dojo." I'll give this guy, you know, props for using a Seinfeld reference. So I tend to use a lot of those in my videos. And then he says, "Beating up on 8-year-olds," that was in that Seinfeld episode. "But hey, in the end, they're all at the same skill level. Maybe except for eating fried chicken by the pound. He has no competition in that department." So Mario actually, after reading that, sent me a message. So we'll just let Mario speak.
You're a health and fitness guy, so I'm talking to the right person. Obviously, I'm overweight, especially my stomach. That's the most obvious part. Probably a little bit in my face as well, maybe even hands. But I didn't look like some fat fucking slob in the video, did I? This fucking cocksucker hippie puke. The only thing this guy's expert at is eating fried chicken, you piece of shit. Anyway, I mean, it was all, you know, extremely embellished, but shoot me straight, dude. I don't look bad physically in our interview, do I?
Look, I thought Mario looked fine, but I may not necessarily be the best person to ask because I think I need to lose fat. So, but either way, like, all I can say in general, guys, just try to maybe be a little nicer in the comments. Like, I get it. Sometimes you're just trying to be funny, but you got to remember, you know, there's a person on the other end that comment. I've had several negative comments directed towards me as well. Sometimes, like, they don't bug me, but every once in a while you get that one that's just like, they get under your skin. So, you know, it is what it is. All I can ask is, like, guys, try to be nice. Now, I know there's some trolls out there who, you know, they get off on being an asshole, essentially. They love it. And then there's other guys who may not necessarily mean the disrespect or mean to be mean, but, you know, they figure, oh, this is a joke. This guy's probably never going to read it anyway. I don't know. It is what it is. It's, I just say, you know, there's a lot of back and forth between Mario and that guy, and I think it's like that guy said, "Oh, I like fighting. I'll fight you. You could prove your martial arts are good." And I think Mario's like, "Okay, fine. Let's set it up." And guys, don't like physically fight each other, especially over comments. You want to get in a fight, like, go to Twitter for that. Well, you know, let's be nice in the YouTube comments, or at least not let this thing get out into an all-out brawl. Like I said, you want to do that, just I think you'd want to spend more time in Twitter. You can find plenty of fights there if you want. You know, I've noticed several other exchanges with commenters and Mario firing back, guns blazing. So all I can say, guys, you don't really need to have the sparring match so much. I kind of feel like Mario's living out his inner Seagal and saying what Steven Seagal would probably want to say to a lot of commenters. So, again, the parallels between a Seagal video and Mario in the comments, it's interesting. But with all that said, we have a lot of great people in the community, a lot of great martial artists I've noticed, a lot of great fitness guys, and, you know, even guys who are just into these movies. So I like this community, and obviously you're always going to, you know, there's going to be some negativity associated with the community, but as a whole, I really like the vast majority of the comments, so I really do appreciate all you guys. And I know the Steven Seagal videos are always a little controversial. By the way, let me know what you guys think about bringing Mario Rose back on for when I do Steven Seagal movie breakdowns, like On Deadly Ground, Under Siege, etc. Because he could kind of be this channel's resident Steven Seagal aficionado. Let me know in the comments below. Be nice, by the way. There's going to be more Steven Seagal content coming, and I'm talking to and going to interview a really interesting guy, second dan black belt in Aikido, actually trained with Seagal in his later years, flies out to Russia sometimes. So there's going to be more interesting conversations and videos with Seagal in general, in addition to everything else, Van Damme, Stallone. I'm going to do more Arnold. Again, we hit a milestone with today's video. First time I broke 30,000 subs. Really appreciate all you. Thanks for subbing. Make sure to like the video, share the video, and we'll see you guys in future videos.